Right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we got who decided how Germany would be divided after World War II. This is from History Matters. Make sure you go ahead and check them out. They make amazing videos. Before we do get into this video, I have been uploading videos that I can't upload to YouTube on my Patreon. I'm putting every single one of my Patreon members in the description as well. So if you guys want to check that out, the link is in the description. Who decided how Germany would be divided? Let's get it.
After the Second World War in Europe came to a close, Germany was divided into occupation zones which soon became East and West Germany. The Allies had divided their defeated enemy after a series of conferences, and they decided on this. However, there were many different ideas put forward on how Germany would be split up, if at all. So how did they come to this decision?
To be fair, all the Allies would just want like most of the parts that's near to their country, right? So
why did the Allies choose to divide Germany up like this and not say like this or this? Well, the first serious discussions by the Allies on how to divide Germany were at the Tehran Conference in late 1943. At this meeting, Churchill took the lead.
How would it be? Would they be like, oh, I want this piece, I want this piece, oh, I want this piece, I want this piece? Is this just like first come, first serve?
Publicly declared that he wanted the restoration of Austria-Hungary based on these borders and its annexation of Bavaria. Roosevelt at this time wasn't 100% sold on carving Germany up, whereas Stalin said no, because 1, he was in control of Hungary at this point and he wasn't about to hand it over, and 2, he felt that giving it Bavaria would just give a future Germany a grievance. As such, by the end of the conference, the Allies had sort of maybe agreed to carve up Germany potentially, but none of them knew exactly how. In February 1945,
just put it in a big pot and then just pick out like cities that you want.
Germany was well on its way to losing. The Allies met once again in Yalta, and this meeting was to determine how Germany would be divided. At this point, the British had somewhat cooled off on the whole division thing, because that would mean occupation, which would cost money, which Britain did not have. Whereas the Soviets would accept dividing Germany so long as they got some of it, and the Americans were now very pro-dismemberment. Again, there was no agreement on the specifics, but the Allies did agree to set up a joint committee on carving up Germany whose first act was to exclude France. The committee never really did anything though, because everybody had their own ideas, especially Stalin, who had changed his mind and just stated publicly that he would oppose a divided Germany. The British and the Americans though had been working together for a plan on how to divide Germany, and US
Stay intact, and everyone's just like, no, we're hungry, man, we want to be Germany.
Had come up with a detailed plan on how to do just that. Under his plan, France would be given this territory, Denmark this, and Poland would get these lands. This chunk in the west would become an international zone run by the new United Nations and would become deindustrialized. And the rest of Germany would be split into 2 new sovereign states, North Germany and South Germany. This plan was very unpopular, except with Roosevelt, who approved. Churchill was reluctant to assent, but when Roosevelt offered Britain a bunch of money, he changed his mind. Everyone else, though, thought it was terrible.
Hey, yo, Britain's broke at this moment, so money, money's the answer to everything for their problems.
And as such, the plans were quickly dropped and everybody ignored the problem until Germany surrendered. At this point, Germany was occupied by the Allies, and both the USSR and the Western Allies wanted to make sure their zones of occupation were more sensible. As such, American troops withdrew to here and these occupation zones were formally established. That said, neither side saw these as how Germany would be split into new territories. Stalin openly opposed any dissolution of Germany because he was confident that with the Communist Party established in the east, maintaining a unified state would make it easier to spread into the west.
Hey, poor Stalin, man. He just wants Germany. He just wants to keep it intact.
As tensions between both sides rose and the Cold War began in earnest, neither side wanted to do anything to damage their own interests. This meant that the Allies abandoned East Germany to the Soviet sphere and began to merge their own zones to form West Germany. And this was completed in 1949. None of this had been planned, but given that both sides weren't so sure about how long peace would last between them, an ad hoc solution was all they had. Which is why, in the end, Germany was divided into East and West and not any other way. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Everyone went with the boring option and not the creative one. They didn't go with the creative option of just 6 different splits, but pretty interesting video. That's how we got the East and West Germany, and now it's just Germany. But really good video. Enjoy that one. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it too. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.